Hey y'all already. Hey y'all. So I was asked to make an update to my most viewed video on my channel, my self-timer photography video, and here I have my Nikon D3400, and I'll put the comment here. The viewer asked, how do I get my pictures to be so clear? And honestly, as I told her, all my pictures don't really come out clear in the self-timer mode. It kind of just depends. Sometimes I just kind of run into place and hope for the best, but okay, so I'm going to return my camera on. And the keys that I kind of do to get them to be better than they were is I go to live mode, which is right here, the LV. So as you can see, I have my camera where I can see directly in front of me. I turn a little ring to adjust it, so we're going to do that. And we're going to use my hand as a model. So what I'm doing right now is adjusting for my hand, then putting my hand back into frame, taking it out, and seeing which shot looks best. So basically try and catch the light and try and catch the pose the best you can. So my hand looks pretty good right now. And then you go here, you go to the 10-second self-timer, and what I do is, to take the picture, you press this button here, and then you wait for it to count down again to place. I press it and hold it to make sure that it's locked into the mode where, the thing is focused. Press it a few times if you need to. And as you can see, that one came in a little blurry, so we're going to try it again. It's kind of like a trial and error type thing. Like, I don't get it perfect every single time. I just choose my best shot. So as you can see, I'm readjusting again to see which little turn of the knob will make my hand look best. So you can also, as you can see, my camera has a little grid on it, and I press the button to make it focus. I'm not pressing it fully to take a picture to start the timer, but I'm just pressing it to see how the focus will be. So let me show you again. It'll make that little noise right there if you have your sound on. My hand still isn't quite focused. So one thing that I kind of noticed is if your background starts looking blurry like this, that means your object will be more in focus. So basically what I'm doing is I'm adjusting my camera, and if my background gets bokeh or bokeh and it gets blurry, I know my aperture is good and I'll be in focus most of the time. So as you can see, the little dream kind of looks fuzzy if I actually really zoom in the camera. But when I put my hand back into the frame, it's looking a little more focused. So let's get that background blurry, put my hand back in, readjust as many times as you need to. And let's take a quick little intermission. So basically, if you want to do this, you can put your camera in auto mode and just run into the scene and hope for the best. Or either if you do manual mode, here's a little cheat sheet so that way you can learn the settings. This is sourced from Google. You can look on Pinterest, anything like that. Look on YouTube for basic photography setting videos, basic photography tips. And basically, this is just how you set your settings. Just read on it and it'll tell you all you need to know. And I'm going to go into this more in a little bit. So just look at this and back to the video. Okay, so if manually turning your wheel or your little adjuster on your camera doesn't work, I'm going to try taking a shot right now because my hand kind of looks focused. So as you can see, my hand is more in focus than it was. Alrighty, so another thing is if your pictures aren't coming out neat or they're coming out blurry, go to your ISO and set it for your light. 100 is for regular sunlight. This is for slight sunlight. This is for indoors. Indoors, kind of dark, very dark, extremely dark. I'm going to go more into detail on that because I will be making more episodes of ChristiIna's photography course, ChristiIna's course photography. But as you can see right now, my hand's kind of in focus, so let's take the picture. Alright, I guess now I'm going to try and hop in front of the camera. So let's zoom my camera out. As you can see, it's in the 18. Let's put it into like... Alright, my camera zoomed out as far as it can go. It's on an 18 for my 18 to 55 millimeter lens. So let me back up. I'm going to get the background not quite in focus, so that way I'll be more in focus, hopefully, when I hop in front of this camera. And y'all are going to see me with the motion mount. My arms fully extended, as you can see. And let me go ahead and put it in live mode. Can y'all see that? Alright, and let's try to get me. I had my background blurred, remember, so let's test it. And I'm not in focus, as you can see. But we'll get it right. What I usually do is set up a tripod, and then I get the scene kind of like set. So that way I have the background kind of like a tiny bit blurred, and I'll run in front of it and see if I'll be blurred or if I'll be, you know, good and crisp. Because like I said, the main key to photography is your aperture wants to be near perfect where you're in focus and your background is blurred. So basically I want my background just the blurriest amount, and I want me to be in focus unless it's a backdrop and it doesn't really quite matter. But you just got to trial and error that bad boy. That's all I can really tell you. I hope that's kind of helpful, but basically, I'm going to put my tips on the screen now. What I do is I get the camera. Let's turn it back off. I get the camera, go to live mode. You turn your ring to get the background blurred. You put an object in front of it. You press this ever so slightly, ever so lightly. Don't actually take the picture, just get it to focus. Have your camera in autofocus mode for this step. Or either just, you know, just press it to see what happens. If it's not, go to your settings. Go to autofocus, single servo AF. And then just keep testing your hand. Basically, put your hand in front, test your hand. Turn the little nozzle knob, little thing, little adjuster. And get your background blurred. Make sure your hand is in focus when you press the button for autofocus. Your camera should autofocus to have you looking not blurred. And then just test it. And then just, you know, run in front of it before the 10 seconds is up. See how your photo looks. If it looks blurred, come back, adjust again. It's just more of a process than anything. None of my pictures actually come out perfect. I just picked the best ones from a batch of at least 30 plus most times. And 1 second. All right, let me show you the exact settings I use. So as you can see, my camera is in manual mode, the M. I go here. As you can see, my camera is shutter speed 1/200, aperture f8, because that's about the perfect sweet spot where your background is a little blurred and you're perfectly in focus should be. And the ISO is 1600 because I'm in my room. It's not too dark, it's not too bright. And okay, so as we see here, press the little I. Alright, your ISO adjustments are here in manual mode. Make sure your focus mode is in some kind of autofocus, no manual focus, because it'll be hard for you to do this perfectly. Put in some kind of autofocus and then go to live mode. Go here to 10-second self timer and just test it. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait. It's going to be dark because I ain't got my flash up, but we're just trying to get me in focus so we're not worried about the picture. And it's dark, but my hand is actually in focus. So what you got to do is just make sure your camera is in a good shutter speed, which is 1/200 for me, good aperture where your background won't be too blurred or too in focus. So I put about f8 or f8 f10. Try that. And ISO, make sure it's set for your light so that way it won't be too light or too dark. Or if you need to, use flash. Always set yourself timer and just trial and error that bad boy. Okay, y'all. Also, sometimes if that doesn't work for me, I go to my favorite photo editor, and any parts of the pictures that are blurry, I'll go over them with the sharpen tool to sharpen them back up, because your pictures aren't always going to turn out perfect. That's the key to photography when you're starting out. They're still not going to turn out perfect every time. You're just going to have to trial and error that bad boy. But basically, I just go over whatever parts of the picture may be slightly blurry with the sharpen tool, or either put a sharpen mask on it, and then I just go off of that, and then I just edit the vibrance and all that stuff, make the picture look all good and vibrant. And I will go more into editing and just taking pictures and stuff like that. So thank y'all for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I used my birthday blue photo shoot as examples. And stay tuned for more ChristiIna's photography coming soon.